Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at weather for 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 takes us to the 16th of October, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, because they were around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFSB2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us to the end of October. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video was our 6 AM upload, and we've also released the European outlook as well, so please like, subscribe on those videos, and thank you so very much everyone. But doing that, the Christmas sneaky peeky #1 was released last night after we live streamed. So we live streamed our 10 to 14 day yesterday, and then we released it. We released the first Christmas update. Check out the live and the Christmas update if you would like to do that. They're both on the channel, and you can catch up with those right now as soon as you finish watching this one, I suppose. Right, okay, let's start in the tropical Atlantic. They've got two interest areas, a red X just here, and we've got tropical depression 12 just there. The red X has a 80% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, and a 90% chance in the next 5 days. That could well become our next tropical storm and or hurricane. We've also got tropical depression 12, giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,007 millibars. This is going to be a very short-lived tropical depression. In fact, it will soon be disappearing off the chart, so we don't have to worry too much about 12. We'll keep you updated. The central temperature is currently standing at 13.5 degrees, which is 3 degrees above average, which is provisional to yesterday, to the 5th of October. Now you might start to the month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're at London today. Red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off close to average at the moment. We're going to go a bit cooler over the next couple of days. Maybe lifting up a bit into the weekend, close to average then. And then by the time we reach the end of next week, though, signs of like a proper cool spell coming up. Maybe a little bit of a cold snap coming up as we go into the weekend of the 15th and 16th of October, around the middle part of the month. Perhaps a bit of a recovery in the upper air temperatures later on. Precipitation wise, going to be quite a lot of dry weather over the next few days, but will turn more unsettled around the middle part of the month as the temperature lowers, so it also gets wetter as well, so perhaps becoming cold and wet around the middle part of October. Temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of October are about to a little bit above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 6th to 14th of October, more or less dry than average, except across western parts of Scotland. Later info on that from Earth, nullschool.net shows that bringing in a westerly wind today, so we've got a classic setup of low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and between the two, we're bringing in a flat westerly flow. So this is our latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Saturday, or midnight on Sunday, I should say, midnight Saturday night Sunday. So high pressure is ridging through the country, but we have got some low pressure out to the north and west. That low pressure pushes through during the course of Sunday, probably bringing a band of rain, especially so to the north and west. Back into our area of high pressure by Tuesday. And then that slips away eastwards to the middle part of next week as lower pressure starts to come back in from off the Atlantic. So alternating day by day between higher pressure and lower pressure, quite typical really of this time of the year. Icon looks like that once more. We're under a ridge of high pressure from Saturday into Sunday, but Sunday into Monday will bring a trough of low pressure in from off the Atlantic, turns wetter in the north. Then we're back to a ridge by the time we get through to Monday, Tuesday, and then that gets broken down through the middle part of next week as lower pressure begins to come in from off the Atlantic. All time winds staying from west-southwest, so it should be relatively mild with the temperature. But GFS midnight run again, and about ridge of high pressure over the weekend, but it gets pushed away through Sunday as this trough moves through this weather front within that, indicated by the elongation in the isobars there, so that could bring some rain even down into the south. Then we're back under a ridge by Tuesday. That gets pushed away through the middle part of next week as lower pressure comes in from off the Atlantic into the weekend of the 15th, 16th of October. Then low pressure really starts to dig in from the North Atlantic. The jet stream moves southwards as well. And this area of low pressure eventually drops through the western part of Europe. So that's just beyond day 10 to the 17th of October, where the low pressure is just to the south of the country. We've got a ridge in the North Atlantic, so we're pulling in much cooler air from the north and northeast. From the area of low pressure, bringing showers along with spells of rain and quite a drop in temperature as well. Then we're into like a north-northeasterly wind there on the 18th of October. And we eventually find that high pressure slipping a bit further southwards, starting to allow something just a little bit less cold to move back in from the North Atlantic. But there is like a little bit of a cold snap showing up there for the middle part of October. GFS 6Z, again, shows that high pressure slipping away on Sunday as the trough of low pressure comes in from off the Atlantic. Then we're back into high pressure for the early part of next week. That gets moved away later next week as low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. So by the end of next week, 14th of October, we've got low pressure just to the northwest Scotland, looking quite wet and windy then. Up to day 10, again, we find low pressure dominates, so showers along the spells of rain, winds pulling into the northwest to the north, so we'll be getting cooler or colder as well through this middle phase of October. And then beyond that, another area of low pressure sliding in from the north. So this is interesting. We've got one area of low pressure just here, this one, that is going on a northwest to southeast alignment around middle of the month. But we have another one that does the same. This low here around Iceland on the 18th of October is also going on a northwest southeast alignment with the jet stream, and eventually that pulls the wind back in to the north, to the northeast. Once again, more low pressure comes in off the Atlantic by the end of the GFS 6Z run, which gets us to the 22nd of October today. Quite interesting that we see these areas of low pressure going on a northwest southeast line. It's not the typical route that you expect for low pressure. You expect low pressure normally to be going like west to east or southwest to northeast in that direction. So going northwest to southeast like that is something a little bit unusual for low pressure to be doing, and we see it happening twice there within within the GFS 6Z. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Don't forget to drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. We've gone past 14,500 subscribers. We've gone to 14.5k. Next target is 14.6k. Now 14,600 subscribers. So please, if you can, everyone, give us a sub, and thank you so much for doing that. Right, the GM, high pressure is slipping away through Sunday, allowing low pressure coming off the Atlantic, out bring wet weather, especially to the north. Through the early part of next week, high pressure re-establishes close to the country, but that again is pushed away as low pressure comes in off the Atlantic by the end of next week. We're looking properly unsettled. Low pressure north of Scotland, bringing in those westerly winds, and that brings showers along the spells of rain. ECM are looking like that. High pressure is slipping away on Sunday, allowing a weather system in from the Atlantic, bring wet weather, especially to the north, and high pressure back in through the early to middle part of next week before that too gets moved away. And at the end of next week, it turns much more unsettled and colder. The ECM also showing that area of low pressure moving away to the east, which pulls the wind into this much cooler or even colder northerly. Maybe we'll have some cold nights and some frosty nights for the middle part of October. We'll have to wait and see about that. This is my precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TomesShow.com. So shower rain moving southeastwards in the next couple of days. Then we go drier through the early part of the weekend before more wet weather gets in from sunny to muddy. Although you'll notice in the south, most of that rain does actually fizzle out. Then we're back to dry conditions through the early part of next week before wet weather returns. By the end of next week, we're looking pretty wet there. And that carries on up toward day 10 with wind going into the north for showers and longer spells of rain, particularly around the coastal areas and potentially a little bit wintry across northern parts of Scotland. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 16th of October. 29 members of the ECM ensembles with a mid-Atlantic wind jet sailing up towards Greenland and a trough of low pressure over the country. That is a very unsettled and rather cool and wet scenario. It includes the control and the operational run. We got 22 here with low pressure to our east, high pressure is out to west. That also looks quite unsettled and cool, but the thing with that is that we're bringing in the wind from a northwesterly direction, so quite cool. But the thing with that is that we could start to allow something a bit milder to come around the top of the high from the Atlantic with that one. And in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 21st of October. 14 members of the ECM ensemble, still with high pressure in the middle of the North Atlantic, low pressure to our east and south. So that's unsettled and potentially very cool as well, with winds in from the northeast. 12 with high pressure to the southwest, low pressure to the northwest, so we're bringing the wind from off the Atlantic Ocean with that. 10 just here with high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic up to northern Europe, up to Scandinavia, low pressure to our south. That'll have the wind in from the east. That can be quite unsettled for the south, bring some spells of rain there, and it could be a little bit on the cool side as well. 8 with high pressure again in the Atlantic, low pressure through the north and west of Europe. That again pulling in wind from a northeasterly direction or northerly direction, so that could be quite cool. And then 7 just here with high pressure just to our west-southwest. Low pressure is up to the north, and that's the mildest option. Is bringing the wind from the west or the southwest, really. That one, the 12 there and the 7 there, they're the two mildest options. The 10 there, the 14 there, and the 8 there are the coldest options. And most of the options, the majority of them, do actually look quite cool, I think. Even into the 3rd week of October. CMS-V2 finally, and then we're done for this video. These are 500 millibar heights and knowledge breakdown into weekly periods. The first week period will take us from the 6th to 12th of October. The coming week has high pressure to the south, low pressure is to the north, and we're bringing wind from off the Atlantic Ocean a little bit like that. Week 2 is going to be the 13th to the 19th of October, low pressure digging in from the north as high pressure pulls out into the Atlantic. That's unsettled and cooler as well, by the way. Week 3 is going to be the 20th to 26th of October, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, winds coming in from off the Atlantic like that. That's a milder option, but still a little bit mixed. And then week 4 is the 27th of October, 2nd of November, high pressure over France, and that will bring up wind from the southwest. So that brings us a very mild end to October and start to November, and a lot of dry weather in the south with that as well, I would have thought. And we're done. So if you've enjoyed this video and all of today's videos, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody in that. Drop a comment and let us know about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well and help get us to 14.6k. If you can do that, it would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, that's it for today's video. Just to tell you what's coming up tomorrow. We're going to have the 6 AM upload. We'll have Jeremy Friday tomorrow as well. 10 to 14 day. So check back to the channel for more. Make sure you give us sub. You actually future weather content if you do that. And we'll see you tomorrow with more data. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks so much.